back, Shark fans, for another edition of Brownie Points. Brownie, it feels like ages. How are we doing, man?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Gearing up, we're back home this weekend. Sunshine State Conference Series against Embry-Riddle. Let's take it back last weekend, tough 5-game stretch. Just talk about the good, the bad, what the message was to the team after that series.
Well, you know, I mean, going on the road for our guys early is something very important that we schedule that way. We want them to face really good opponents, and we did that. So I think we learned a lot about ourselves. I think that there was, even though, you know, some of the games we didn't play well at all, I mean, you come out of that with 2 wins out of the 5 versus the quality opponents on the road early. I think we learned a lot, and I think that we're going to be a better club because of it.
You guys wrapped up the trip with the 1-0 win at West Florida. How key was that mentally, especially for that trip home and heading into this weekend, knowing you got that last W under your belt?
You know, it was a great victory because, you know, the way we used our pitching staff in that game, for them to respond and throw a shutout combined was really clutch, getting guys back healthy, which Devin Meyer, Kyle Kilborn, they made their debuts, and I think that's a really big bolster for our pitching staff. I think that our pitching staff really rose to the challenge that we had for them because, quite frankly, we haven't pitched well. And the fact that we were able to get that type of performance and have one of the craziest box scores that I've ever seen with 12 hits, 3 errors, and they left 16 on base. But it really, in watching the game and the way it was played, we made plays. We got outs when we needed to get outs. I thought the guys really defended well. You know, J.P. Williams had a great play on a comebacker to get it recorded out at home. You know, we made a mistake in the outfield, and yet we responded on the next play and have a double cut throw out at the plate. I mean, so there were great plays made. Duncan Pastore played a great third base that night for us, and I'm just really proud. Getting back on the road after a win is always easier, and you know, they kicked it into freshman karaoke, so that's always fun.
We'll touch more on that later, but first road trip of the season, a lot of the freshman guys especially getting their first looks, you know, different fields. Good experience. Talk about guys like Duncan, Daniel Irisari, Jarrett Hall, guys that have gotten early looks on the field in some big action. Have they exceeded expectations? What have you seen from them so far? You know,
I think through our training camp, I think we've found a lot of confidence in these guys. I think they're playing beyond their years. Physically, they're ready to play here. You know, the mental rigors of what college baseball is, I think that's where we're going to see them take their bumps, but I think that they're learning on the fly, which is a great thing. I think that our expectations are that these guys are going to be the core of our future, but also be able to win now in the present. And it reminds me a lot of the 2014 team when we had a bunch of young guys playing early, and those guys gained experience that by the time they returned as sophomores, I felt like their maturity was much more like an upperclassman.
After a 5-game stretch like that, you guys got back late on Tuesday. How do you kind of get the guys to refocus, be refreshed heading into another key important Sunshine State Conference Series?
You know, I thought it was really important that we got back on the field on Wednesday, even though we had a long night of travel. And I thought getting back on the field, I just wanted them just to activate their bodies, get acclimated into more of a training regiment versus a playing regiment. And it helps to have Pedro Martinez come out, and that kind of helps the energy.
You mentioned it before, but we lost guys like Devin Kahn, Joe Strzelecki, Brady Acker, but it was a big boost. You got Devin Meyer, 3 scoreless innings against West Florida. Talk about him and your plan moving forward of getting him kind of back into the rotation.
Yeah, Devin, you know, coming back this spring, we wanted to slow play him so that he was healthy. And I think that we've seen some great signs of his development here in the last couple weeks. So getting him back out there was a real bolster because he does a great job of competing. He does a great job of throwing strikes, and he knows what this level is about. You know, he's a proven winner at this level. And I think that when you look at our pitching staff, which has a lot of the composition of a lot of it is new, that he can really be a foundation for us.
Offensively, it's been some ups and downs so far, but one stable factor, Christian Demby's definitely been very good in the middle of the lineup for us. What has he done from last year to this year really kind of take that next step and be more of a leader in the middle of the order?
You know, I think Christian, one thing, he's been healthy, you know, and he took this summer as a time to really get his core strength built back up and so that he can last throughout the season. I think that was a really big part for him. But, you know, he's done a great job of capitalizing on mistake pitches and hammering them. And the guy is so strong that the ball off the bat, a lot of good things happen. So I think he's done a great job there. You know, I think offensively, we're still looking to get the fire starters. I think our slugging's been good. I think that we need to do a better job of getting on base and making it happen, because I really like what we do on the bases when we are on the bases, and I really like how our approach is evolving. I think that when you get challenged, especially like a 5-game run like we just had, where the conditions are different, you know, the guys, they haven't been on the road, they're learning about it, their routine has been disrupted. I think that you see that guys have to find their way, and if they use that as a learning opportunity, I think that we can really move on forward. And I think that historically, we've always been slow starters and we kind of finish strong. So, you know, I think that that's just been indicative of what we are today.
Absolutely. And finally, we got to touch back on it. Freshman karaoke on the way home. Who are the standouts on the team for us?
Yeah, I think Isaac Lopez really opened it up with some Jackie Moon was really clutch for us. You know, Brian Diaz, even though he's a sophomore, he tried to dominate the mic, and fortunately for all of us, he got booed off stage.
Oh, buddy. We know you're the big Pearl Jam guy. Any Pearl Jam action get going? Do you get on the mic at all?
Yeah, I got on the mic. Hopefully those tapes never leak. But yeah, I showed my rap game.
Good to know. Maybe we could get a couple of those videos and put them out there for the fans to see. But fans, series opener Friday night, 6 p.m. against Embry-Riddle. Doubleheader on Saturday beginning at 1. Hope to see you out here at the Shark Take. If not, tune in on NSUSharks.com.